when you're willing to remember that the only reason your brother or sister comes into your experience is to have his or her divinity recognized. And you see, you don't know how to recognize their divinity all by yourself. So you have to say, Father, uncover it to me. Remind me of it. Help me remember it so I may witness to it, you see. Truth is a revelation, not a platitude. Truth is a direct experience of what is real, rather than a string of words in a book that can be rattled off piously or self-righteously, or as a justification for not dealing with illusion. Truth is a revelation, and it's the revelation of that which is real in your fellow man, so that in that experience of it, you can bear witness to the truth about your fellow man. As I have loved you, love one another. And even when it pushes your limits, even when it seems to require you to go beyond your capacity to persevere and to love, be willing to do it because they deserve it, just as you deserve it. I love you. And I'm speaking firmly so that you might get the feel for how much I love you and how important it is to me for you to be less confused about yourselves, so that you won't suffer from ignorance about yourselves, and so that you can gladly bear witness to that which is true about you, and not require everyone else to be willing to stand and bear witness with you when you're being difficult. We're going to take a break. And as each of you stand up, I want you to just find someone, the closest person there is, and give them a hug. Just to make connection, just to say, I'm here. I'm not running away. And to break any isolation that might still be remaining here in the group today. I have more to say about bearing witness. There are two kinds of bearing witness. We've talked about what you might call bearing witness privately, meaning one-on-one, where you stand witnessing for the truth for someone else. And bearing witness privately is as important as I made it sound. But there's a form of bearing witness that is in many ways even more important. And that is bearing witness, bearing true witness of your friend or neighbor to another. And you could call this bearing witness publicly. sometimes it is absolutely essential to stand with someone, bearing witness to the truth of them to others. In some ways, this is even more difficult because usually the place where that is called for is when others are challenging your friend. And so you have to put your mouth where your values are and speak up. You know, also it says in the Bible, no man cometh unto the Father but by me. And you may not have realized it, but one of the aspects of the meaning of that statement is you must come by someone who is going to stand up for you. Not that the Father requires that, but because it is essential to have one stand up for you, because you can't stand up for yourself all alone. You see, the dream, the dilemma you're all in, the human condition you're all in, is a result of your having stood up for yourself, all by yourself. Independence. The reason you can't come to the Father except by me is because essential to your coming home is that you've got to be willing to abandon standing up for yourself all by yourself. You know the saying, pride goeth before a fall? Well, you could say pride went before the fall. Self-satisfaction. I'd rather do it my way. I want to be a fully self-realized person on my own. And that was what precipitated the fall. You didn't really do it that way. You said in so many words, I want to play with, I want to toy with the experience of independence. And you're now so deeply in the habit of independence and self-authorized actions and self-realized personality all on your own that it's humiliating to need to have someone else vouch for you, speak on your behalf, and have that be the only way you can come home. You can't come home under your own steam. You can't come home alone. Someone must stand with you, speak for you. You might say, this is not utterly, absolutely correct, but the Father must see that you have no element within you of private, self-authorized self-assertion, that you are willing to be part of the family instead of a proud, independent outcast. You see? So this subject of witnessing for your brother is extremely important. And you know what? You really won't fully understand the dynamic of having me witness for you as you come home until you dare to involve yourself enough with your brothers to stand for them on their behalf and witness for them and their integrity and their value and their divinity and their worth in front of another. That's where the test comes, in a way, because although it can be difficult witnessing privately for another, one-on-one, continuing to be there on their behalf with encouragement and inspiration, it isn't really like you have to lay yourself on the line. But when you witness for another in front of someone else, now you're putting yourself on the line with others. And that's exactly what I do with you as you come home. But you might say that what was called the crucifixion was my putting my life on the line for you. As an illustration, makes you stop and ponder, doesn't it? What if you can't get home without someone else witnessing for you? What if you can't get home all by yourself? Think about it. Contemplate it rather than think about it. Let it sink in. Let it be real for you. And then, remember what I said. As I have loved you, love one another. Make the extension of witnessing for another in front of someone else for the purpose of declaring your commitment to what is true about your brother. And putting yourself on the line along with your brother. This is love. And not just talk, you see. This is putting it into practice. This is caring. Talk is cheap. Oh, I love you. Well, do you love him enough to stand there with him, on the line with him, on his or her behalf? Again, that's where the work is. That's where the commitment is. None of this is nice ideas, or you lose any value that there might be. Now, there's another aspect of bearing witness, and that's something you do utterly privately. That's when you're at home and you start thinking about so-and-so. Well, if you're not thinking appreciation about them, if you are grousing about how they treated you today, if you are contemplating how difficult they always are, you're bearing witness. I'm not homing in on you, even though I'm looking at you frequently. You're bearing witness. And how you choose to bear witness in the privacy of your own mind makes a difference. If you want to bear false witness by rehearsing in your mind all of the negatives about so-and-so, you become completely blocked as an agent for change in that person's life. And you're occupying your mind in a way that is unprofitable for you and causes you for that period of time to be in a miserable state of mind. Totally unproductive, a totally insane use of your mind. But if you're thinking of so-and-so who has been unpleasant or seems to be ill or whatever, and you are utilizing that time in your consciousness to remember their divinity, to remember what is true about them, and to contemplate that if there's anything at all there where your friend appears to be, that it has to be God present, and that none of the behavior or none of the physical circumstances that are less than the best represent what God is being there, and therefore they can't represent God, and therefore they can't be real in any divine sense. Then you are using your mind in a way that causes it to be in harmony with the truth about them, causes your mind to be in harmony with the truth about them that God is expressing. And it becomes possible for you to easily slip from your clear thinking about them to a direct experience of what God is seeing and being them as. And when that happens, you become a healer. Your presence and your attitude and your witnessing for the truth for them puts you in a position of experiencing realization of the truth of them, not thoughts about the truth of them. And because minds are joined and one with God is a majority, healing can happen. Healing is the result of true witnessing for your brother. And that happens in the absolute apparent privacy of your own mind. You see? So you can bear false witness, accomplish absolutely nothing, and be in a miserable state of mind yourself. Or you can bear true witness of your brother, and because your true witness in your thoughts is so close to the truth, truth itself can penetrate and give you the realization of the truth about them that heals. So, this is a place where persistence is required. Within yourself, persist in choosing to be conscious of the truth about your brother, rather than idly letting your mind run over old tapes of all the lies about them, all the things that God isn't being right there where they are. All of the things that even they seem to be insisting on expressing. You must be persistent on behalf of your brother. Now, when you stop to think about it, if you're utilizing your mind to witness to the truth on behalf of your fellow man, you're not going to be in a miserable state of mind yourself. And if the result of doing that is you experience a realization, you might say, direct from God, well, that's not a miserable thing either. So do it. And do it with commitment, and do it knowing that it's blessing not only you, but your brother or sister. Okay? This really is what you're here for. I don't mean you're here on this planet or here in this lifetime for that purpose. You exist for no other purpose than what I've said before, glorifying God. And the way you glorify God is by witnessing truly about each other. Acknowledging God right there. Where 5 minutes before you were willing to see a bastard there, or a bitch, or whatever. This is where it's at. And fortunately, there is an abundance of opportunity to do this. The world has not blown up and there's only 2 of you left. There's millions of you to witness for. Robbie, can you do this for President Bush?
Yes.
Yes, you can. You're right. Difficult as it might seem. Unworthy as he seems to be of the honor of your doing that. And everyone has a daughter or a son or a parent or a boss or a friend or a relative that really gets you where it hurts. If it's getting you where it hurts, it's because you're choosing to use your mind for some purpose other than witnessing for what is true about them. Not because of what they're doing. This is a very important point. You suffer because of what you're choosing to witness for. It is never because of their actions. As I look around the room, if I were to be coming from an ego standpoint, all of you provide me with ample opportunity to reject you. You think that's funny? And yet, all any of you really need is someone who refuses to do that, and in the face of all the justifications you provide for my rejecting you, I inspire you to a different viewpoint. Well, you know how that feels. You keep coming back for more. And you know what? As horrible as you all are from an ego standpoint,